They're digging for treasure. Whoop-de-doo. But this is interesting. At 90 feet, a stone with an inscription was found. And the writing on the stone consists of symbols which has been commonly deciphered as follows. 40 feet below, 2 million pounds are buried.
Yeah.
Roman symbols.
But it's not like theirs. That's not like anything I've ever seen. It almost looks like partly computer code. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talk Tuesday.
Going up on the Tuesday.
So on this Tuesday, we are talking about conspiracy theories. And not just any theories. We are talking about television conspiracy theories. Now, I am a big fan of the boob tube myself. I love Breaking Bad, Orange is the New Black. I loved Grey's Anatomy. Dexter is one of my all-time favorite shows. Reality TV, currently right now I'm obsessed with Big Brother. So I thought it'd be fun to do a whole video on television conspiracy theories and secrets. So let me clarify, these are not all conspiracy theories. Like some people want to come for my face. Some of them are just strange details and secrets. Obviously I couldn't talk about every single theory here. So if you want to see another video like this, give this video a thumbs up and let me know. So we're gonna start off with The Simpsons. Now I have a whole video on The Simpsons. I'll link it below. There's a bunch of really weird things about the show and very interesting stuff to look at. Basically the theory is that Homer Simpson has been in a coma the last 2 decades. Everything that has happened in the show since has been in his head. In October of 1992, The Simpsons released a new episode called Homer the Heretic. And in this episode, there's a scene where Homer talks to God. And he basically asks God the meaning of life. And God replies, "You'll find out when you die." And Homer replies, "I can't wait that long." And God responds, "You can't wait 6 months?" 6 months later, in April of 1993, that is literally the month I was born, an episode aired where Homer ended up going into a deep coma due to an exploding beer can and a falling vending machine. And even though Homer seems to wake up at the end of the episode, the theory goes that this recovery was too sudden and too quickly, and that actually Homer never woke up from his coma. And according to this logic, everything that happened in the show after that point was in his mind. Now this would explain why the characters never seem to age in the story. This would also explain the show's kind of fantastical plots that seem a little bit like dreams. However, one of the executive producers of The Simpsons, Al Jean, commented on it and said that it's intriguing, but not true. So I just thought that was an interesting one. Okay, so switching gears to Breaking Bad. And it's a theory that Breaking Bad is a prequel to Malcolm in the Middle. Now it's impossible to talk about these shows without possibly giving things away, so I just want to warn you ahead of time, there's some spoil alerts in here, especially right now. At the end of Breaking Bad, Walter White ends up in a witness protection program, and his identity is Hal, H-A-L. And people basically say that Malcolm, like Walter, is a genius with expertise in chemistry, and they're both incredibly intelligent, stubborn, and manipulative. And they can both be violent and selfish, but have some supply of morality deep down. Now, this is an interesting theory. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I think you could even switch it so that Malcolm in the Middle would be a prequel to Breaking Bad. I honestly just don't believe this one, but I thought it was really interesting how people connected those two shows. Now, there's another theory that's similar to this with Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead, both two of my favorite shows. So obviously, Breaking Bad is about a chemistry teacher named Walter, and Walter is diagnosed with cancer, and in order to secure his family's financial stability when he's no longer around, he starts making and selling meth. So the theory goes that there was some type of chemical issue with the drugs, and these drugs that he made caused people to turn into zombies. In the second episode of The Walking Dead, there's a character named Merle Dixon who has a stash of blue sky meth. So people basically think that drug dealer got his original drugs from Jesse Pinkman of Breaking Bad. In The Walking Dead, Daryl even describes this drug dealer as a little white guy. So fans believe that Daryl is describing Jesse Pinkman, who is a little white guy. Basically, people think that The Walking Dead is a post-apocalyptic world from Breaking Bad. Other thing that people think ties the two shows together is a red Dodge car. In Breaking Bad Season 4, Episode 2, Walter gives a red Dodge car with a black racing stripe to his son. In the second episode of The Walking Dead, Glenn steals a car that looks the same as the one in Breaking Bad. And what's even crazier is that when Walter's wife Skylar and him get in an argument, Walter goes back to the car lot to try to return the car. At the car lot, Walter is informed by an employee named Glenn that there is a restocking fee of $700 if he were to return the car. So are these two Glens the same people? I don't know. You'll have to let me know in the comments. The next one is that The Walking Dead is based on none other than Toy Story. Basically, in The Walking Dead, the main character, Rick, is a sheriff. So is Woody in Toy Story. And in both of these stories, the outside world is considered a very scary and dangerous place. Rick and Woody are both leaders of kind of a misfit tribe. In Toy Story, it's obviously a bunch of toys. And in Walking Dead, Rick kind of just gets whoever has survived the apocalypse into his little gang. Basically, these people were all really different because when there's an apocalypse, people have to come together even if they're very different individuals. And another group of people that are different people are the toys in Toy Story. Obviously, a Slinky dog is very different from Mr. Potato Head. So people said that this is also showing a group of randos coming together. And they both have a child, which Woody obviously didn't have a child, but he has a child, Andy, of course. And these children are the main priorities of Woody and Rick. People also have noticed that there's a lot of similarities between the main antagonist in Toy Story 3, Lotso Huggin' Bear, and the antagonist in The Walking Dead, the Governor. The Governor is one creepy fuck. Basically, people think that they're supposed to be the same character. They both have Southern accents. And at first, both of these characters do seem really nice. Everyone seems to like them, but then they turn and you see this like other hidden side to them. They're secretly evil. So they are similar. The bear and the governor are leaders of a community. In Toy Story, the bear is like the boss of the little town of toys that live in this child's daycare. And in The Walking Dead, the governor's also leader of a community of people in a compound. And these two villains have both lost a little girl. In The Walking Dead, the governor's daughter turns into a zombie, and Lotso Huggin' Bear, similar to Woody, used to belong to a little girl before he was thrown out and abandoned. In The Walking Dead, Rick had a friend named Shane, and Shane was a police officer, and we all know that Woody and Buzz eventually became friends too. In Toy Story, Andy chooses Buzz instead of Woody in a lot of situations, and in The Walking Dead, Carl starts choosing Shane instead of Rick in a lot of situations. Buzz and Shane are considered to be kind of the tough guys, muscular, of the group. Now, one of the most interesting parts of this theory is that Woody, you know when you like pull on his little string, he says phrases. One of his phrases is, "Someone poisoned the water hole." And in The Walking Dead, the water hole does get poisoned. I thought that one was really fun. There's actually a lot more to that theory. Okay, so this next theory is really creepy. This is from the show The X-Files, which was on a long time ago, so a lot of you probably haven't heard of it, but it was on during the 90s and the early 2000s. There was a spin-off show called The Lone Gunman. In the Lone Gunman's pilot episode, they showed a pilot hijacking a plane, flying it into the World Trade Center. Now, this may not sound that weird to you until you hear that 9/11 had not happened yet. The episode first aired in the US on March 4th of 2001, before 9/11. And also in the episode, the government is the one who planned the attack, and they were trying to blame it on a foreign terrorist group in order to start a war. When 9/11 happened, people who had seen the Lone Gunman were like, whoa, like, is this deja vu? I've seen this whole thing. I knew about this. I've seen this whole storyline happen. And what's also weird is this was never addressed. No one from the show ever comment on it, and it has just kind of been like, gone. Next up, Saturday Night Live. If you've never seen Saturday Night Live before, it's a show that's been on a really long time. It's on Saturday nights and it's live. It's like little sketches, and I'm sure most of you have seen it. There was a segment on the show called Conspiracy Theory Rock, and it was supposed to imitate Schoolhouse Rock. You know, we all know. Conjunction, junction, I'm just a bill. This was back in the 90s, and it was a cartoon segment. It was called TV Funhouse. And in March of 1998, the segment showed a video called Conspiracy Theory Rock. And this little series basically was about the government controlling everything. It was talking about big corporations, greed, corruption.
The whole media is controlled by a few corporations thanks to deregulation by the FCC. It don't care. They're all sitting pretty thanks to corporate welfare. They use tax and soft money to support congressmen who will over weapons programs and let them dump toxic waste where the young ones play.
INGE made the bullets that shot JFK. That's what NBC doesn't want you to know. So the next time, please stand by, please stand by.
They even mentioned General Electric being connected to the JFK assassination. But after it aired that one time, it was taken down and the segment was never shown in reruns, which is odd. And according to the creator and producer of SNL, Lorne Michaels, the reason that the segment was taken down was because it wasn't funny. However, it would kind of make more sense that the sketch really pushed the boundaries, that maybe SNL or NBC got in trouble for airing something like this. And this is also really weird, but GE used to own NBC, so it was really, really ballsy for them to have mentioned General Electric. Okay, so this next one is about The Office, which is another one of my favorite shows. And it's a really funny theory, but the theory is that the whole cast has radon poisoning and brain cancer. Anyone who's watched all 9 seasons of The Office may have noticed that characters change a lot and become a little weirder and more outgoing and more funny toward the end of the season. There's a running joke on the show that The Office is due for radon testing, and Toby is always the one to bring it up, and it's dismissed. Like everything that Toby says, they just dismiss it. So because it's been dismissed for so long, there actually was radon in the building. All of the characters end up getting brain cancer. Eventually, this illness starts to change their personalities, and according to this theory, this is also why Michael is more mature in the season finale. The theory says that moving to Colorado with Holly did wonders for his brain cancer. Once he was out of the toxic office, he could finally grow up. So obviously this is a very far-fetched theory. I just thought it was hilarious. Another theory about The Office is that Toby is the real Scranton Strangler. It was first mentioned during season 6 and was eventually caught after a long police standoff in season 7. And Toby was picked to be on the jury. And Toby and the other jurors are ultimately responsible for sending him to death row. During season 9, Toby seems guilt-stricken when he admits that the jury might have sentenced the wrong man to die. He even visits the Scranton Strangler in prison. And some people think that Toby's extreme guilt shows that he is the real Scranton Strangler. This next one is hilarious. It is that Gilligan's Island is actually hell. According to this theory, each character on Gilligan's Island represents one of the 7 deadly sins. The millionaire, Mr. Howell, represents greed. Mr. Howell's wife, Lovely, represents sloth. Ginger, the sexy movie star, stands for lust. The smart professor is prideful because he can't admit he is unable to fix the ship or get them off the island. And then Skipper symbolizes 2 deadly sins, gluttony and wrath, because he's always taking something out on Gilligan. Gilligan represents Satan himself because he's constantly screwing up the group's plan for rescue, and he's always wearing red. Very, very interesting theory. Fun side note, I've never seen Gilligan's Island, but I know the theme song by heart because my dad was very creative with my lullabies as a kid. He sang me the Miami Dolphins theme song, Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog, and another one of his favorites to sing me was the Gilligan's Island theme song. So I literally could sing it at any time. Like, I know the whole thing. Okay, so obviously most of those theories were fun and just interesting to look at, but here are some things that I found that are just weird about TV, just strange things. Had to talk about Big Brother. It is my current obsession, but did you know that one time Big Brother had to kick someone out of the house for attempting to stab a roommate?
A major development tonight inside the Big Brother house behind me. Yesterday, producers expelled one of 12 house guests for breaking the rules. Justin, the bartender from Bayonne, New Jersey, threatened house guests with violence and physical intimidation. It was a violation of one of the most serious rules of the house.
On season 2 of Big Brother back in 2001, a house guest named Justin Seabitt ended up getting kicked off the show on day 10 because he was threatening people, acting reckless, and even had a kitchen knife to another house guest's neck. If you don't know what Big Brother is, it's basically this show where all these people live in a house for like 90 fucking days. It's really long. It's like all summer. They don't get to leave. They don't get to talk to anyone. There's no TV in there. They can't do anything. Like, they can't even listen to music. They can't sing or they get yelled at. They are filmed 24/7. There's these live feeds. I watch them because I'm weird. You can see what these people are doing at any time. You log onto the live feeds and you can watch them. So there are constantly cameramen watching these people. And they saw on the cameras him holding a knife up to Krista's neck.
Stay right there. Stay right there.
All right.
Would you get mad if I killed you?
At this point, Justin picked up a large kitchen knife and repeated to an intoxicated Krista, "Seriously, would you get mad if I killed you?" At this point, Justin was called into the diary room.
Justin, please go to the diary room.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We got a problem.
After a lengthy consultation with the show's psychologist, producers were left with no choice but to expel Justin to protect the safety of the house guests.
After this, he was called into the diary room and kicked off of the show, obviously. Okay, this next weird thing is that RuPaul's Drag Race, the final episode, is fake. RuPaul's Drag Race is a competition show about drag queens competing for bragging rights and a grand prize of $100,000. During the finale episode, they choose 3 finalists. However, they do not inform the finalists of who really wins during the taping because it's filmed in front of a live audience and they don't want people to spoil the show. So they actually filmed the ending 3 separate times, each time pretending that a different winner won. And it seems as though the winner is announced on the show. And when the show airs, it seems as if the winner is announced on the show. However, the finalists don't even find out who really wins until the final episode is aired.
I have made my decision. The queen who has earned her spot in the Drag Race Hall of Fame, the champion of All Stars 3 is Trixie.
But there's all types of secrets in reality TV. Speaking of reality TV, ABC's The Bachelor and Bachelorette. Now this is actually one of the shows I really can't stand. Like, I've tried to watch seasons of it, I just personally just cannot stand it, so I don't watch it anymore, but I've seen plenty of it to know how it works. To get the views and the ratings on a reality TV show, you gotta like do some crazy shit. You gotta have some things that you can kind of tease people with in commercials, and so they're all about getting the drama going on reality TV shows, especially shows like The Bachelor and Bachelorette. Producers are constantly providing alcohol and encouraging contestants to drink, which obviously makes for better TV. A lot of former contestants on the show have talked about how there's been unlimited access to alcohol and the producers actually encourage you to drink as much as you'd like. Obviously, some people take this way too far, drink way too much, and one time on season 10, a contestant got extremely drunk on The Bachelor. After she was eliminated, Jordan Branch said that the producers manipulated contestants by constantly refreshing their glasses. Jordan said that she even told producers that she was a little nervous and didn't want to drink, but apparently the producers didn't really care and kept filling her glass. Now, of course, this show does not force anyone to drink, I'm not saying that, but they're very tempting about it. Another thing is that the contestants are often sleep-deprived. Contestants on the show have said that the night where they have all of the people get out of the limo and meet the Bachelor or Bachelorette, a lot of people have said that this can go until like 7 a.m. You might be watching it thinking it's like 9 or 10 and they're just having their cocktails. It could be 4 in the fucking morning. A lot of people have also said that all of the rose ceremonies go till at least 3 or 4 a.m. Sometimes they start filming at 9 a.m. and they don't stop filming until 4 p.m. the next day. Lack of sleep equals crazy behavior, which equals crazy drama, which equals crazy good views, which equals crazy money for the show. And this is another little fact about the show that I thought was so interesting. At the end of the show, whoever wins gets a diamond ring from Neil Lane.
Hey, Neil Lane. Hey, Sean. How are you, buddy? It's good to see you. Good, come on in.
And this ring normally costs upwards of 6 figures. But if you don't stay engaged for 2 years, they take the ring from you. So a lot of people stay engaged 2 years just to keep the ring and then separate and then they sell the ring. But anyway, I want to know what you guys thought about all these theories. I thought they were so fun and interesting and I really want to know your thoughts. Is there any other theories I should look into when it comes to television shows? Maybe I will even make another one of these. Give me a thumbs up if you'd like to see it. But that's it for me today, guys. I hope you're having a great day and I'll see you next time.